How many guys you got in play? Nothing? Okay, that's what I thought.
So we were walking around town with some Memphis players, and we were asking them where we should go if we ended up running into a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Because
Like, where in Memphis do we want to go?
it's pretty. You got to make sure you're in a safe place when the zombie apocalypse happens. At least if you're a human.
I think we had a pretty set up game plan on this.
Okay, so what we're seeing is Rayne Gould on the left is looking over the list of William Wright, and William Wright is looking over his opponent's list. Now, the reason that we do this, the reason that we let the players look over each other's lists, is that we don't want to have, in this world of social media and the potential for people to have a lot of friends who are scouting, we don't want someone who has put in a lot of work, but perhaps their friends are more busy, or they don't have as many friends, or they don't have a smartphone. We don't want them to be just completely blown into like just this sad space of not being able to keep up.
And also, we post these deck lists immediately on Star City Games. So, if you want to keep seeing these deck lists, we got to keep showing it to the players, because whoever has a smartphone winning does not seem like a proper way to decide top 8 matches.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting. It's like the natural progression from what happened a million years ago when the idea that scouting was illegal was an actual part of the rules of the game a long time ago. But how do you enforce that? You're in a room with people playing Magic. I mean, if someone
I accidentally sat next to this guy and knew what he was playing.
Yeah.
How awkward.
Yeah. Oh, I walked to the judges' station and I saw what somebody was playing. I broke the rules.
What was the Pro Tour? I believe it was Pro Tour. Was it new? There was one Pro Tour, I remember, where all of the Day 2 deck lists were posted before Day 2.
Right.
And there was Cabal Therapy was a legal card in this format. So, like, there was, like, this mad scramble with laptops. Like, someone's friend who wasn't playing would just be, like, laptop, wireless up. Or probably not even, I don't even know what the connection speed was back then. But, like, oh, God, you gotta find the deck list, Control F. Okay, you want to Cabal Therapy this,
Yeah.
I think someone actually got DQ'd because they pulled someone's deck list out of a bag after the match had started. That was back in the wild days.
The thing is about this, right, is that once you get past the idea of recognizing that scouting isn't something that you can actually stop people from doing, we are at this stage where the natural progression is, once you're here, just give each other the lists.
Yeah, I think that I like what it adds to the game. I think that it's a very interesting component to matches.
Actually, I think one of the most interesting things that happened as an even further natural progression of this is that Pro Tour Dark Ascension, we have Brian Kibler and John Finkel prepping for their top 4 match against each other.
Really?
They play tested against each other to prepare for the real top 4.
Yeah, for what it's worth, at Pro Tours you get the list the night before. So often a lot of people in the top 8 will just spend the previous night, oh man, I'm in top 8. I'm not going to celebrate now. I'm just going to play test tonight. Will is on the play, it looks like, which is going to be very key for his deck here. So we were saying, if Rayne was on the play, it's very possible for him just to get very far ahead with a hero early and put Will in a position where you can't really make profitable blocks on it. But on the play, will have the ability to sort of set up a board state where he can maybe fight a hero in combat, or even just put Rayne on the back foot and kill him. So Will's definitely looking for hands that are 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, matching up the curve for Rayne. And Rayne can probably get away with a bit less of an aggressive start because he has these, sort of endgame bombs of like Mare and Crusader or Hero Blade Hold.
For those of you who are just joining us, this is the finals of the Star City Games Live Open Series here in Memphis. William Wright with Black Blue Zombies, Rayne Gould with Blue White Humans, and I'm Adrian Sullivan, joined in the booth by Ari Lax. If you also hear other things in the background, we do have our Draft Challenge number 1 underway. That's a 32-person tournament.
64.
Sorry, is it 64?
Yeah.
Wow, 64-person tournament, where what we end up doing, we have all of these drafts happening, and in the end, one person from this draft will end up winning, I believe it's, is it $500 for first?
I can check this real fast.
Yeah.
I've played in a couple of these.
But, I don't think I see a Shaheen Surani or a Saul Malka here.
The original draft open ringers?
Some of the ringers from our draft opens. I know that a lot of the Madison guys, they'll come to our Star City Games events, play in the standard, and then day 2, they won't legacy. They're just going to show up to draft.
It looks like both players are down to 6 cards here, shuffling up for new hands. Let's see. draft opens, you are correct. 500.
500 for first, and an invitation to our your choice, actually, of invitationals.
Yes.
Because we have 4 invitationals a year now. Let's pretend that one's in your neck of the woods. You can go to that one. Or if you want to, if you are somebody that, grinds it out, you could perhaps go to all 4 of them. But you can save up your invitation to whichever one of the invitationals you prefer.
5 seconds.
Yeah, I believe the next one is upcoming actually in Baltimore,
Lay out your pack to your
if
left.
I remember right. I'd have to look this up again.
I'm thinking about going to it. I'm not going to be covering it, and I know that the last one that was in Indianapolis, I was happy to be covering it, but man, I was so hungry to play Magic that weekend.
There's one in Indianapolis actually this summer.
Yeah.
So the next Star City Games championship or invitational is going to be in the end of March, so March 23rd, 25th in Baltimore. Both players down to 5. And for those of you
both players.
Yeah, for those of you who maybe can't attend an Open, but still want to get to an invitational, there are Star City Games invitational qualifiers, and these can be held at your local store. So if you really want to get to the invitational and you feel like there's a player base in your area that can wants to do this, just talk to your store owner. They can talk to Star City. They can set one of these up. There's a few happening this weekend actually. There's 2 in North Carolina, one in Fayetteville, and one in Goldsboro. And then there's 2 happening in Columbus, Ohio this weekend. One yesterday and one today. So, yeah, there are a lot of tournaments. A lot of ways to qualify for the Invitational.
Absolutely.
Even if you can't
and the
actually get to one of
Invitational,
these.
oh my God, it's such a good weekend.
It is.
So, for those of you who are just joining us, once again, on the left, Rayne Gould with Blue-Eyed Humans. On the right, William Wright with Black Blue Zombies. And both these players down to 5 cards. People at home, if you have Twitter, tweet to us at SCG Live. Do you want humans to win or zombies? Are you a zombie fan or are you a human fan? I know I always want the humans to win, but when the zombies kind of win, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean. So both players have a 1-drop. William has a Diagraph Pool, and Rayne has a Gideon's Lawkeeper. Probably the second best 1-drop you could have here. Maybe the best. The Lawkeeper is definitely what he wants over Champion, especially on a Moldify.
I think I would Doomed Traveler, I think, is probably my favorite 1-drop for this matchup, but Lawkeeper comes in second. I think Champion is our worst 1-drop for humans in this matchup.
Kind of oddly.
Turn 2, the High Priest, the card that we said might be actually very, very huge in deciding how this Zombies deck plays out against the humans.
So both players with a Basic and a Scars duel. And Rayne has...
Is that the Thalia?
Yep, that's a Thalia on 2, which is going to brickwall this team unless Will has a removal spell.
You should have 8 cards.
This could potentially get very interesting if Will has I guess less interesting if Will has a Gravecaller and a Tragic Slip right here, or, a Fume Spitter and another creature. Both players did mold a 5 here, but we'll see. Is this Thalia going to hold off the assault?
5 seconds.
Diagraph Captain.
It will not hold off the assault. Rayne's probably going to take 3 on this attack.
Lay out your pack. You should have 7 cards.
So Diagraph Captain pumping the. Is that a High Priest getting in there?
That's a High Priest.
That is just going to get eaten, correct? Yeah, that looks like that High Priest is just going to get.
Well, it can get traded to the Thalia.
No, Thalia's first strike.
5 seconds.
Really?
Yes,
Oh.
she does.
Oh boy.
Draft.
Yeah.
If I could spell Skursdag, I would be able to look up whether.
First strike.
Yeah, Skursdag.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah, Skursdag, High Priest.
10 seconds.
Actually a human. So Rayne's going to drop to 15, but gets to eat that High Priest and not take a damage off the trigger because the one human in Will's right deck decided to show up to the fight.
Oh, that's so sad. Skursdag High Priest is one of the best weapons in William Wright's arsenal in this matchup.
Looks like Rayne has a 3rd land here. Both players having surprisingly smooth draws off these mulligans. And that's a Mirrored Crusader.
Oh boy,
Ooh, that
Pro Black. It has some other abilities too, but
Double
Pro
Strike.
Black.
Yeah, that's one of Rayne's best cards in this matchup. And it looks like Thalia's going to just, Mirrored Crusader's going to hold the fort. Thalia's going to just crack in there. And William is actually short on ways to deal with his Mirrored Crusader. He can copy it with a Phantasmal Image. He can attempt to double Mortar Pot it.
I mean, he can't even copy it until he kills the Lawkeeper, though.
That's true. He actually has...
Is that another High Priest?
That is another High Priest. But you know, these Lilianas and Guest Verdicts probably just going to take out a Thalia. He can't even play a Liliana here because of Thalia. There's one card in hand facing down this Mirror Crusader.
Rayne Gould.
Please pass the last card.
He is
At this time, you have
waiting in
selections. Please
See,
begin.
untap.
Batman villain Rayne Gould.
Untaps. Draws 4th land. Is this going to be a Hero Blade hold to end this? Well, not end this, but, you know, it'd be pretty dominating. No, just another Gideon's Lawkeeper, it looks like. Assuming that he doesn't have another 1-drop. Doesn't leave with a champion or something similar. This combat step is going to get a little dangerous. Let's see. Oh, he does have the champion, and his last card is the Lawkeeper.
To the container.
Oh.
So Rayne has just sort of assembled this board state.
So apparently Soren Markov, 23, is a zombie fan. And
What a surprise.
the zombie food is a human fan. I think that's kind of funny.
Let's see. Well,
You know, I wouldn't have attacked with that Skurzdorg High Priest earlier,
No.
but that I didn't even remember that Thalia had first strike.
it's very, very likely that he just missed that ability. So Crusader cracks in for 4, will dropping to 14. He has 2 cards in hand to do something with.
What does that do again?
The High Priest?
I'm just mimicking what I imagine Rayne is saying as he
Yeah.
grabs it, turns it around.
For those of you who aren't aware, it is tap it and 2 untapped creatures you control, put a 5/5 demon into play, but it's a morbid ability, so play it only if a creature has died this turn. Rayne has an active Lawkeeper and mana up to tap something. Oh, that is a Fume Spitter.
Oh.
That means that this High Priest is going to make a demon this turn. If,
Well, not necessarily.
Will
He's got
wants it to.
Rayne can tap the High Priest in response to that Fume Spitter.
Correct. But
I don't think he did.
he may not have. That's a pass the turn.
Oh, no EOT tap.
This Mirror Crusader is still going to get through, and Rayne does have an Angelic Destiny he can draw to just sort of... Well, it's too short of lethal, but close, getting close.
5 seconds.
It looks like we have correction on Mortar Pod being able to kill the Crusader. The sacrifice creature actually does the damage, so and targets, so that is not an out. He actually just has these sacrifice effects, so that might become an issue.
Pick up your pack. 35 seconds.
Mirror Crusader, I think it has to crack in here. There's the demon tokens are going to be too much of an issue otherwise. You just have to race them. So Will falls to 10. 1 card in hand for both players. Rayne probably debating whether he wants to leave up mana or... Okay, so...
Responds by tapping
But that
the
does-
High Priest. It's not
that-
going to matter, though,
It
because
does not
the,
work the way he wants it to.
Yeah, the sacrifice is a cost. It's gone.
Yeah, the
So-
Fume Spitter has already died by the time the Gideon's Lawkeeper is tapping the High Priest, so Morbid is in fact active at that
Yeah,
point.
and and Rayne, you have tapped. I mean, if I was the judge or the player there, that Lawkeeper would be used.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. He's like, so just as long as William activates it properly, because that's a dead Fume Spitter. Sacrifice is a cost.
Yes. That Fume Spitter is not on the board right now, actually. He's
I don't
gonna-
think Rayne,
Tragic Slip, targeting,
the other Gideon's Lawkeeper, perhaps.
probably. He just needs
5
to
seconds.
use your removal spells to handle theirs.
I don't think William realizes that he is going to be able to activate his
High Priest.
High Priest regardless.
Yeah. I think neither player realizes, and this might play out interestingly.
Oh, and is it a double targeting?
25 seconds.
Oh yeah, he doesn't
No,
realize.
He's probably targeting both of the Lawkeepers.
I think he targeted the same one.
Really? Interesting.
And oh yeah, William does not. Oh nope. Okay, he targeted it right, but he does not realize he could have made a zombie
Yes.
or a demon.
A demon. So
That's actually really huge.
that might be the deciding factor here.
Now just imagine a 5/5 demon in play, everyone, and it's invisible. And what would the life totals look like?
So
Attack for-
Rayne has a couple guys back to block, but
Lay out your pack.
Will's running short on guys to activate this High Priest with if he attacks.
Okay, there's a invisible 5/5 demon that wishes it was here,
5 seconds.
Didn't want to show up to the party.
and
Got stuck in traffic on the way.
thinking about attacking with the Diregraph Ghoul. It's a 3/3 Ghoul right now because of the Diregraph Captain.
That seems like what he wants to be doing here. Or I think Rayne just takes on the attack. Oh, is this an every... Okay.
5 seconds.
So theoretically, so that's 3 coming in, not 8.
Draft.
Yeah, attack with everybody would be devastating because the captain would just get blocked down by the Thalia again. Is that a... That's a Grave Crawler. Okay.
Pick up your pack.
That...
30 seconds.
No.
Nothing died.
No.
Yeah, nothing
No.
died.
You cannot activate Morbid when creatures have not died. And William just passes the turn back after putting Rayne down to 12 life here. Rayne with his Mirror Crusader threatening to be lethal in
5 seconds.
3 attacks, which is giving William 2 turns to get somewhere.
Draft.
Rayne looking at 2 cards in hand. I'm assuming that one of them is probably a Sword of War and Peace or an Angelic Destiny or a Hero Bladehold that he opted not to cast last turn. Maybe a Fiend Hunter. Just some big drop that he wanted the Lawkeeper mana up for instead. Let's see what happens. Could be a Destiny easily. If he doesn't have the 5th land, that Thalia could be locking in his hand. I think that that's one of the reasons I never really like Thalia in the Humans deck, because you have a lot of really powerful spells that you just want to cast, and your opponent slipping up a little is okay, but you have to be able to curve out and kill them. It's a little bit more of a playing around my own spells than I'd like, and not playing around them in the sense I get to set up my game, playing around them in the sense that my own cards are hindering my play. But I think that Thalia gets to be boarded out here when Rayne boards in all these spells like Oblivion Ring and Dismember's removal.
One of the things I really love about the Star City Games events, if you think about what's going on here, right? We were in the finals, and these players are shooting for over $2,000 right now. And, if you're at home and you're thinking to yourself, wow, I can play so good, I'd be amazing in this top 8, well, just come on down. I mean, you could be here playing for the $2,000 instead of William and Rayne.
Here we go. So Fiend Hunter takes out the captain, and looks like William's debating whether he wants to attack with the team. I would. I think you just send with everybody. You're way away from dying. And this is a Skurzdag High Priest Chump Block. William dropping to 4 life. I don't know if that Chump Block really does much here. He's still dead to a Crusader hit, so I think you may have wanted to save the High Priest and see if you can get down an image and try and block this Crusader. The interesting part of that is he might be able to... Oh, he's going to pack it in here. So off the double mold of 5, Rayne Gould's Humans deck decidedly takes the game with a Mirror Crusader. After... that demon would have been a huge...
That demon would be huge. Imagine Rayne at 7 there that last turn.
After a slightly strange interaction, Will didn't realize he could have made a demon one turn.
Yeah.
And
remember, sacrifice is a cost. And like I said, when we have these events, like there were only 330 players here competing against the Grand Prix. So you could have been one of the people playing here for the $2,000. So if you're a good player and you're in an area where there's the Star City Games open, come down.
They're all over the place.
They're all over the place.
But one of the things, there's going to be a winner here, but we also do a trivia giveaway in all of our top 8 matches. And this one is for a Gen Con badge.
Yes, this is awesome.
So for those of you who don't know about Gen Con, it's 4 days. It's in Indianapolis every year. This year it's going to be hosting Vintage Championships, Legacy Championships, as it does every year.
Right.
And the Magic World Cup, which is basically a giant team event. And that's on top of all the other things you can do there. There's every game you could ever want.
And I mean, if you're a big fan of Magic, I mean, at Gen Con, it wasn't so long ago that Owen Turtenwald was facing Bob Maher in the finals of the Vintage Championship. And that's awesome to be able to watch that kind of Magic where they're not only just those players, but they're playing Vintage, where there's Lotuses in play. And if you don't have those cards, just watching it is a blast.
Yeah, no proxy Vintage, like real
vintage. So, sell your cards for your house kind of thing.
So our trivia question, though, is there was a deck that we saw a lot of it going into the late rounds of the top tables. Only 2 of them made it to the top 16. None of them cracked top 8, which is really surprising given its recent Pro Tour win.
Right.
what deck was it that was, dominating the event up until the last couple of rounds where it stumbled? Pro Tour Championship deck,
Right.
multiple Pro Tour Championship
Right.
deck. Didn't quite make it there today.
Yep. What standard archetype deck, multiple Pro Tour championships under its belt,
Yes.
did not top 8?
Despite being a quarter of the top tables going into
That's
round
right.
7.
And you want to put your answer right there, hashtag SCG Premium. Boom. And remember, that hashtag is necessary.
Yeah.
So what Pro Tour Championship archetype did not top 8 our standard tournament today?
Two of
And
the top
now,
16, but...
it's worth noting this is recent standards, so you don't get to answer something like Rebels or,
Did Rebels won multiple Pro Tours?
I think it won
It won
one
standard
Pro
and block.
Tour.
It won standard and block.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I think it won.
Two. But that's neither here nor there.
And
Old legend rules.
going to our sideboards.
Okay, yeah, sideboards.
What do you think you do if you're Rayne Gould? If I'm
you're
Rayne
Rayne-
Gould, I want to bring in my 3 Oblivion Rings because
Yep.
they answer anything and there's no response that William can do to them. And other than that, I'm not sure if I necessarily want anything.
I want Dismember, I think.
You do?
Yeah, I need to kill a Phantasmal. I need to kill a Scourgejack High Priest or a Diagraph Captain. And I think I want Angelic Destiny. And Timely Reinforcements could also be a pretty interesting card. Life Totals could matter against these
5 seconds.
burn decks. I don't want Grand Abolisher. I don't want Thalia. And I don't want Sword of War and Peace, I feel like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. I want to bring in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe a Timely. So that looks
Timely
like it's
is
about-
okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I'd probably bring in 1, 3 Rings, a Dismember, and 2 Destinies for 3 Thalias, 2 Abolishers, and 2 War and Pieces. Maybe 2 Timelies instead of the 3rd Angelic Destiny, but that's what I bring in. And then on Will's side, maybe Porcelain Legionnaire, but I don't know about that. But I definitely want my 4 Vapor Snags in this matchup.
I actually definitely want the Porcelain Legionnaire. One of the reasons I definitely want it, Porcelain Legionnaire can kill,
Oh,
Mirran Crusader.
That is very true. I did not think about that.
and also it can kill Athalia.
I don't know if Thalia is going to be coming to play game 2 here, but if I was Will, he has like Liliana and Guest Verdict that I don't really like here. I think I'd probably be boarding in Vapor Snags and Porcelain Legionnaire. Vapor Snag also is an answer to Mirran Crusader.
Yeah.
Not so much for Problem Pro Sport.
And, remember, I don't have a problem necessarily with Angelic Destiny in Rayne Gould's matchup here because, he can think to himself, oh, I have creatures that can't be stopped. He's got edicts to remove things. He probably won't be able to kill my creature I put it on, even if it's not a Mirran Crusader. But you've got to remember, when you're examining the other person's deck and sideboard, it's been a good 15 or 20 minutes since he's looked at the list. He might not remember that there are Vapor Snags in the sideboard. And so he could do something like bring in Angelic Destiny and fall prey to Vapor Snags, really, really, making the Destiny feel kind of foolish.
Yeah. It's... maybe he wants Abolisher just so he can protect his Destiny still.
That could be.
Yeah, Abolisher just... His deck, we were saying the zombie deck short on 2-drops. The Humans deck doesn't have a lot of 2-drops in it either. The 2 that I really liked just aren't here. Oh, he doesn't want Relic Warder. Maybe he probably just leaves an Abolisher and takes out the Relic Warders instead. Because Relic Warder only hits Mortar Pod. So yeah, Thalia, Relic Warder, and Swords out, and those 7 in. Leave an Abolisher as a way to protect your Angelic Destinies. Keep him off a Tragic Slip on your turn. Keep him off a Fume Spitter. It actually keeps him off a High Priest on your turn, which seems very important.
Actually, you're right. Abolisher making High Priest less good. I wouldn't have thought of it until you just voiced it, and now I'm like, wow, that's actually really relevant.
Something Will that might be able to cut 1 or 2 of his Gravecrawler. At least on the draw. On the play, he probably wants all of them, just get this super aggressive start. But on the draw, it seems like he might just want to be a bit more controlling.
That's another good point.
So looks like both players have drawn their opening 7s. Maybe they'll start with normal hand sizes this time. Looks like Rayne's hand has a Hero Blade Hold in it, which is his big end game. Let's see. Will Wright is probably mulligan. Yep, that is a 3rd mulligan for Will Wright in this match. It's a lot of mulligans. And Rayne is asking a judge question?
I think what he's doing is he's checking to find out
If he's registered for the Legacy Open.
Right.
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I love Legacy so much. I would be so sad if I was in the top 8 of one of these events and I ended up missing the Legacy.
I know in the past they've made special accommodations to make sure that
Yeah.
people have made it. I think
All you got to do if you're in the top 8, or if should I say the finals,
Yeah.
just ask. Just ask.
Can we stall for a second? I think I remember when Jerry won the back-to-back ones the last time we were commentating together in Pittsburgh. There was like, okay, we want to do an interview with Jerry. Okay, well, our player meetings right now. Give us 10 minutes, okay?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. The sacrifice is made in the name of awesome. Let's see here. Yeah. This 21 lands from the zombies deck is just still shocking to me. Yeah. Just 21 lands is just feels very low to me for this deck with 8 3-drops in it.
I think one of the things that is always kind of a struggle with the aggressive decks is when you've got as many on the top end as that, like, there we go, and the game's underway. Gravecrawler versus nothing.
Both off of Scars duels. Yeah, there's actually 10 3-drops in this aggro deck. Oh, and that's his tapped Drowned Catacombs for Will.
Yeah, the fight between having enough mana and flooding when you're a particularly aggressive deck is always very difficult to balance.
I guess I did play 21 when I was playing the red version, so that's
Thalia.
post-board Thalia from Rayne. Gonna hold out this Gravecrawler potentially, but I don't know how much I like that card here. If he didn't board in the Destinies, I guess I can see Thalia, but otherwise, I mean, if you're boarding an Oblivion Ring, I really don't like Thalia at all. 2 mana? Oh, cannot cast that Mortar Pod in your hand, Will. Thalia would like to say otherwise. He might be missing a land drop here, it looks like.
The first draft challenge has just finished the draft, and I notice in the room is phasing Pro Tour player Mike Donovan, who has, I believe, won 3 draft challenges.
Yep. So there's a Phantasmal Image that Legend rules down the Thalia. One of the key plays of Phantasmal Image on the weekend has just been 2 mana.
Kill your Legend.
Good old Hero's Demise. And Rayne takes 2 from this Gravecrawler. William passes back and misses his land drop, though, which is going to be very important. There's a Geist to Saint Trap.
Oh, is there another Phantasmal Image in William Wright's hand?
Ooh, I don't know. Yeah, this sort of Hero's Demise on Thrun and Geist is really huge. Just killing a hexproof guy is very, very key. And it looks like William might not have a land drop. He looks
I see a Messenger in his hand.
I see a Messenger, there's a Captain, there's a Mortar Pod. That was what he was looking at casting last turn. It was like, oh wait, Thalia doesn't let us. Let's see here, 5 cards in hand.
Maybe if you attack, then they will block with their Spirit. Come on, William. See what happens.
Must attack. I mean, can't block, must
can't
attack.
Block.
Right. Well, it's also possible that if he doesn't attack, he might not attack because he doesn't realize he can't block. That might also be the consideration on that.
You know, I have done those plays where I'm like, I might as well. Maybe he won't know.
So
attack for 2.
Rayne's gonna just take 2 on the stack. Yeah, it's always the best when you're like, you don't realize, like, your opponent's like, why are they doing this? And you're like, oh, they don't realize this. And the rest of the game, you're just like, I know they don't realize this. I can't. What you know, it's.
Do I want to communicate this to them?
So Will Wright.
Another Gravecrawler?
Another Gravecrawler. Not going to stop this Geist of Saint Trap, though.
Will, hungry. If you were talking about only 21 lands, look at this. He could just use 1 more. I think his deck kind of turns on if he gets 1 more.
Yeah.
4 mana. That's a pretty critical moment. Here's
probably a Hero Blade Hold coming down here. And 6 damage to the face. Geist of Saint Trap and Hero Blade Hold are just very, very powerful attackers.
Oh, yeah.
Hero
Take
Blade
6.
Hold in particular, I know, I've played games where it's just like, oh, missed a land drop, oh, missed a land drop, oh, played a hero, oh, played a hero. My opponent's just like, well, I can't kill either of them, and this next attack is for 35. I'm dead. So the Angel token comes in. Will's going to drop to 14. Rayne Gould taps his 4 lands. Hero Blade Hold.
There it is.
There's also a Moorland Haunt in play for Rayne if things get a bit longer, but I don't think that's.
I think William's going to get torn down 2-0 at this point.
Yeah.
No land again?
No land again, probably. And might send in with some Gravecrawlers. I think Rayne just takes in that case. Don't want to get Tragic Slip.
Yeah. You take your 4. Because if you block, a Tragic Slip can kill your hero.
So this attack next turn actually is lethal damage. That's the hero naturally does 7 for those who haven't played with it that much.
He blocks.
He does block.
Take
Could
2.
Get Tragic Slipped. Going down to 12. So the hero does 7, the Geist does 6, plus 2 from the hero. That's 15 power on board right now off of 2 creatures.
Tragic slip, tragic slip, tragic slip. Tragic slip, followed by recast Gravecrawler from the yard.
That'd be really powerful right here. That
I don't
would-
think he's got it though.
the way he's tanking, I think he just has this mortar pod. Yep.
Oh, that's so sad.
Mortar pod comes down. No second image, just a mortar pod. No tragic slip. Just
Trying to think if there actually exists anything William can do next turn
let's
to
see
come
here.
out of this.
This is no longer lethal damage because of the mortar pod token. But oh, that is another hero. If Rayne has a removal spell, it's over. If he just plays this other hero, though, I actually don't think William has a way to
I'm not
come
sure
back.
if Rayne even needs to play anything.
The attack is for 12 or so, but it's not lethal. Oh,
There you go.
There's the Fiend Hunter,
Jija.
and this attack is 15 damage, assuming, and that is the match. Rayne
And-
Gould quickly takes it down 2-0. Humans defeats zombies.
Take that, Batman.
Yeah.
There we go.